This news
and a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to, once again, the weekly update to the East-West show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family, designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of history, hand-forged by 10 generations of the #1 craftsman on the global earth, the testimony to the spectacular and the share of a royal glory. To the show. With me today is my dear brother, Mr. Ken Hemming, and in 2 more weeks, we together will be finishing these 250 shows on the weekly update. What an achievement.
This is 249. I cannot wait. I have a little vacation. I come back, and then we celebrate 250. And of course, you have over 1,300 shows that you've done and guided,
All right,
Jack,
my
in a
dear.
very beautiful,
Okay.
informative way.
Oh yeah,
I'm proud of you.
Thank you for mentioning that.
I'm proud of you.
And to make it a report to my audiences, though, by November 15th, we'll be finishing the 1,370 shows altogether,
Hallelujah.
including his 250 on his special commentator show for 250. That's a big word.
What a joy.
That's a big number.
What a joy to my life.
Yes, sure.
It
All
gives,
right.
it gives great purpose to my life.
On weekly basis, and then later on bi-weekly
Right.
basis. So, well, it's quite an achievement.
We'll end up someday on a daily basis.
We would like to give the credit to James Su, founder of EDI.
Yes.
Without him providing the platform,
Yeah.
without him leading the way the show goes, we will be nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Sue.
We will nothing.
Yeah.
All right. And we'd like to say thank you, Mr. Su, for doing what you have done. Please keep on doing the same thing.
Yes, yeah, please do.
All right, please do. And to my audiences, thank you for the support. Oh, by the way, 2 days before Thanksgiving Day, on the 26th,
Yes.
it is already scheduled at 11:30 at the EDI Center. We'll hold up a commemoration event to landmark the achievement of 1370 and to landmark the achievement of his 250.
I'm ready to brush my teeth and take a couple showers and be there happy.
Couple of showers.
What an honor it's going to be with your group of people.
And then prepare a speech.
We're ready.
You'll be awarded together with many of your fellow supporters.
They're great people.
Wooden plaque in recognition.
You attract, Jack, a great group of people who are really bright, that really contribute, think clearly, and they love America. And I'm real proud of you for that.
Thank you very much. Like I said, at this show, together, we do nothing but promoting the uplifting of life.
Yes.
Whatever is uplifting, we do.
And our country, yeah.
In our country, all right. So much for the incoming event. Back to the bi-weekly show with Mr. Ken Hemming. What is on top?
Well,
Without asking, must be.
yeah, well, obviously the most recent major event was the debate of Democratic candidates last night, 12 of them. And of course, I really don't use the term democratic anymore because, say, as an emotional person, I'm emotional and I'm also a rational thinker. As an emotional person, I never thought during my life I would be looking at 12 people up there, 11 of which are avowed socialists. So everybody was curious to see how Bernie Sanders' stamina would be. And it seemed to be pretty good, okay? It's kind of scary when a person has a heart attack. And we'll see how he stays in.
How old is he?
Well, he's younger than Biden. He's about 76 or 75. And then the squad that's made up of those 4 people that are congresswomen in there, they're endorsing him, which I think is maybe not a good endorsement to have, but anyway, they're endorsing him and not Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden. But they were all kind of inspired by him back in the last election when he was competing with Hillary Clinton to get the nomination. And so the whole focus was on Joe Biden, and they're very soft on his involvement with the Ukraine, in which he enriched himself quite handsomely and his son massively handsomely with a lot of money. And then Elizabeth Warren, who's growing in the polls. And yet the other people are maybe 2 or 3% or 1%. So there's not much reason to talk about them. The next debate, I guarantee 4 or 5 will be gone, and so it'll be down to maybe 5, 6 or 7. But Elizabeth Warren, the others all admit that yes, for their agenda of free college, free this, free whatever, taxes would have to be raised on the middle class, and that's the class benefiting.
Yeah. Slow down a little bit. Don't get excited, and we have enough time to be quietly and cool-minded deal them one by one, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the offer of making everything free.
Most things.
Which is good, very good, super good. I like it.
It would bury America.
Yeah, I know, but no. Right. Let's talk about the fact.
Okay.
The fact. Let's talk about the psychological effect, right? Not even economical. Okay, and then you see what I mean?
Well,
right?
I see what you mean.
The psychological effect is that, oh wow, I get something free, right? If I were with them, I would say, how about we offer every American a mansion and a yacht?
Well, right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we'd have to invade other countries.
Free food.
Yeah.
Free every gasoline.
Yeah.
Free school. Free freeways. Free everything. How about that?
Well, that's a dream. They call that a fantasy.
I know. Will the sober-minded American think or will not think after the excitement cools down, though, where do we get the money? Do we have the money?
You know, the one sad thing in America is many of our voters are very uneducated. They never think.
I wasn't watching the whole length of the debate.
Too long.
I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Anybody answer the question, or was there any question of where to get the money for the free offers?
Most of the other candidates do admit that taxes would have to go up for everybody, okay, including the middle class. One thing that came out today, this is very exciting, Jack, that since President Trump was elected, the average family income in 2.5 years has gone up $5,000. It now, for the first time ever, hit the $60,000 level for average family income. Now that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, and 5,000. So we have 3.5% unemployment right now, which really is full employment. There's always 2% that don't even want a job or aren't looking. So we have people that have confidence in their abilities to make their decisions on their life. They're not that attracted to free this and free that because they're intelligent enough to know nothing's free.
We really have to meander on these two issues.
Yeah.
Right. And we really have to come back to talk even deeper into these two issues. Number one, everything free. Number two, to increase tax. Right. Okay.
Right.
Now, my dear friends, we would like to take a break and come back for it, so that we will have better time to thoroughly talk about it, see what's exactly going on. So stay with us.
Everything. We have to continue to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host the news every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West with my friend Ken Hemming on the bi-weekly update. we're talking about the most update was, of course, there's a bunch of issues to talk about. On top of all the issues, there's nothing goes more interesting, more entertaining than the debate last night.
Right. It's entertaining in a way, and it's pretty boring in another way. They're kind of they don't have very active vocal intonations.
Being boring is a way of entertaining.
That's fine, and you're happy you're not standing up there.
Of course.
Right.
If you're really willing to watch, though, you're happy to see the farce.
Yeah, and I'm willing to watch.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, now let's talk about it.
Yeah.
On one hand, the candidate offered everything free, such as Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, she's
right?
the most
and she takes
radical.
the lead. She takes the lead ever since Bernie Sanders falls sick in hospital. Though she kind of pops up with even more to show of her offer of everything free. Of course,
of so
free
many
college.
Things.
Free gasoline,
and including the Green New Deal,
free housing, Green New Deal whatsoever.
Yeah, right. And for people over 200,000 or something, tax rates go up really big.
I like it to hear it.
Yeah.
I like it only to hear it. But thing is that how do we get the money? Where do we get the money? And you told me that the missing part that I was not watching was that they say they will increase the tax.
They have to.
That gets on my nerve.
Well, and
I know myself. I'm taxed to bone already.
Yes, you are.
21% of my income goes to.
In California, there's all these other taxes too that just
on
eat
top.
Our income.
I'm talking about on top.
Right.
So I have nothing to offer as tax.
Yeah.
Unless they want to take my bone to cut my legs and arms off.
Well, see, and that's what you're saying is
No. Yeah, let's find out. So, am I the only one Americans who is taxed to the bone?
Americans will rebel at a point in time.
They
will rebel
that
at
is
a
my
point in time
that
when it becomes
point.
so onerous. Okay, say when you talk about free health care in or whatever they call it, in Canada you have to wait weeks or months to see your doctor because there's going to be far less doctors because they're not going to be making attractive incomes anymore.
I'm
and
worried,
the health care will be worse.
I'm worried that someday somehow, the people, we the people will be pushed to a point.
It will.
That they could do nothing but rebel.
And hopefully in America, our process of rebellion starts with voting, starts with electing people that will be more user-friendly to
it looks
citizens.
That way.
So far
it looked that way. When they try to remain on their position, all right, to incumbent as much as they can, while lying, for example, lying. They make they make lies all the time.
All the time.
Right?
Yeah.
For example, we were talking about proposition number 6.
Yes, sir.
That was yesterday, with one of the Republican candidate for Congress, John Hollis.
Nice.
And we picked proposition number 6 as an example how they technically lied with a high tech.
Oh, I totally believe that. Yeah.
Right.
And I respect that gentleman.
So one day when people see, well, now when we can't vote them out, they are lying and lying. They are solid on their seat. Nothing goes else. Nothing else goes on but a choice of rebel. That's my worry.
Both Republicans and Democrats, when you get elected to something, they're impacted by the power.
Plus, this country is never divided like this.
No.
Right?
No.
When there goes revise, when there goes upright, there must be a counterbalance.
Correct.
All right?
A reaction.
And then you're talking about a civil war, man.
It's possible.
It is very possible.
For example, Jack,
I'm very worried.
A lot of the candidates want to reduce the number of guns, confiscate guns from people and whatever. And I tell you, I'm an NRA, National Rifle Association member. They'd have to, I wouldn't do it voluntarily. The people that have the guns will not voluntarily give them up.
I
Because this
was-
is what's happened in Italy and Germany.
I was once upon a time a supporter of that.
Yes.
Later, when I learned enough, well, I find it impossible. Find it impossible to do, because suppose even if you succeed in collecting all the registered guns, there is enough supply in the black market.
100% accurate. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because anybody that's a bad boy that wants a girl, that wants to get a gun, can get one. Mm-hmm. It's just in the black market.
A bad guy who wants to get a gun anyway.
Yeah, and there's about 7,000 events a year, 7,000 where somebody protects their own home with a weapon, or some crime scene. They protect themselves with the weapon they have to defuse a robbery or murder attempt or whatever. And that's really good. We need to protect ourselves. So no one's going to give the
Okay,
things
let's
up
go back.
voluntarily.
Let's go back to where we started.
Yes, sir.
Right now, with the offer
Yeah.
of everything free, there's no money except to increase the taxes to support it. All
But
right?
there's not enough money.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
To do it.
I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm going to refresh the memory.
Yes, sir.
So with the tax imposed, people are likely to upright.
And to maybe just not pay them either.
Yeah,
Don't file your
with
return.
The, yeah, we would with the upright. There goes probably a possibility of a civil war.
It is a possibility, but there's not enough money circulating in our economy on an annual basis to come close to paying for these programs that they're recommending. There's not enough money. If you took everything from every billionaire and everybody that's going over $1 million, there's not enough money existing to pay for these programs.
Okay,
Not
my
enough.
question, simple question.
Yeah.
Do they know, for example, does Elizabeth Warren know that we have to have money before we can offer everything free?
Well, I'm sure she does. She's no dummy. She's a bright lady. You know, she inappropriately got into law school.
Does she know a government does not produce money?
Well, maybe she thinks you can keep printing it, but you can't print because then that's just deflation and
Or does
money
she
becomes
know
worthless.
you have to have certain economy to back your printing?
Well, and the thing is, if you have all these kind of programs that supposedly are free,
Or does she know all the money, government money, comes from a tax?
well, she should. Well, it does. It goes from there. Yeah, it does.
Or
Yeah.
does she or does she not know that we, the people, are taxed to the bone already?
She does. I don't believe she feels it. I don't believe she.
Oh, she may.
cares.
Well, there's one
Yeah.
way she might think. Okay, let's tax the rich.
Yeah.
Let's tax the rich.
There's
only.
not enough rich. There's not
Is
enough.
there enough rich?
No, not at all. Not close. There's not enough money in
Are
existence.
are they almost out of the country, out of the state, and out of nowhere, or they are hiding their money somewhere whatsoever? And then
They're not
to the
hiding.
to the bottom. Well, is the money stealing or what?
Well, confiscation. Their whole point is to try to redistribute the wealth. So if you're talented and you earn money, I clap for you. Okay, you did good. I'm proud of you. I'm not jealous. I'm proud, and I can learn from how successful people become successful. And a lot of people are unfortunately lazy, but still, right now, anybody that wants a job can get one. 3.5% unemployment. All of these fast food places in Christmas season, they're hiring millions of people for, say 2 or 3 months. There's jobs available, and all you have to have is the attitude and the ambition to perform, and
There's
you will
probably
succeed.
something deeper in it.
Okay.
Right. 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation. I had a chance to interview a professor of UCLA.
Nice,
Her name is Min Cho,
nice.
Dr. Cho, and one of her
Proud of her.
great work was entitled Chinatown. She did quite a bit, a substantial amount of study, about 20 years for Chinatown, and she concluded that the the harsh environment, including exploitation,
Yes, sir.
exactly provided a chance for the Chinese early immigrants to survive.
It did. Now, are you talking about downtown LA?
You see what,
Chinatown?
you see what I mean?
I'm sad when I
You
drive
see-
by there.
This is why I connect this with her.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
No, this is good.
talking about the rich though,
Yeah.
they provide job opportunities,
Absolutely.
right? By which you are
survive.
you are surviving with your salary.
Yeah.
Even though you may be exploited some way, one way or the other, but that's capitalism.
Well, and there's no greater
That's capitalism.
there's no greater joy than being self-sufficient, where you can take care of yourself. That is
I don't know.
a joy.
I don't know. Maybe we
Versus
are
submissive.
Yeah. Maybe we are sweet talking to exploitation, but I understand that is the basic of capitalism.
It is.
Am I right?
Well,
so now it leads us to
Competitive
one
exploitation.
Now it leads us to one specific thin line.
Okay.
Are we willing to go socialism or keep on capitalism?
Well, let's just say this: if somehow a socialist such as Elizabeth Warren was elected president,
Prevail.
it would be the end of freedom. It would be the end of opportunity in America, because we'd all be submissive, just like submit, or you lose the people. It's we the people. Socialism runs the people. In America, the people have the government working for us. That would change 100%, and it would be fatal. But then you talk about rebellion, and something would come up, and then hopefully the next election. Our whole thing starts with brainwashing in our school system. We have a
If you
serious
study,
problem on that.
if you go back study the history of Civil War, though, you would conclude it would say, yeah, probably we do have the risk
Potential. We have a potential.
of doing it.
Right.
Again.
Because we do have people on the left that endorse violence, like the Antifa group.
Okay, my dear friends, my lovely audiences, let's take a short moment out. We come back to continue from that point on, probably talking about impeachment a little bit. With me today is my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. We will be right back, please.
Senator we have continued to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News here in
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to East West Show, exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry that has 400 years in history, hand forged with 10 generations of the wonderful, most wonderful craftsmen on earth.
Beautiful.
That stands for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. How I wish I get one.
I want some glory. I don't have any glory.
All right, good, very good.
I want some.
All right, very good. Back to the show
Yeah.
with Ken and I, and we are on the bi-weekly update. We talk about the offer debated at the Democratic, the fourth debate,
Yes, sir.
fourth round of debate last night, and that is the free college, right?
Etc.
Et cetera, free, et cetera, and this and that, and then the taxation
Yes.
issue. And we stated with our worry that if this goes on, provided with the environment right now, when the country is so divided, our trepidation is that probably we are facing a second world war.
there could be
second civil war.
There could be violence.
Okay. Very good. Put that aside. Let's talk about the impeachment.
Well, what's going on now? The Democrats, socialists, and there's no democracy in socialism. But anyway, what they're doing is they're calling in a lot of Trump people, that have been, on the periphery of Trump's administration, and then having them testify in closed meetings, not allowing Republicans to be in there, not allowing cameras or any transparency in what they're talking about, what they're trying to do. Now, this is all relates to this Ukrainian phone conversation, which President Trump gave out the text of it. And Adam Schiff testified, he's the head of that one of their big committees, testified, kind of made up an entire conversation that Trump was not in to try to shed poor light on President Trump. It was untrue. He's a very, very serial liar. There's a bunch of Republicans right now that are voting to censor him. And what he's doing, during the whole Russia hoax, he kept saying he has proof, and he's never shown any proof. There was no hoax. It was a hoax. There was no, the collusion. The collusion was, with the Democratic administration at the time. But so now, it's unbelievable because the procedure for impeachment, you're supposed to have a vote in the House to see that there's enough people that want to do it, a majority that want to start the investigation. They're starting an investigation, not in secret, totally in secret, not allowing Republicans or the people to know really what they're doing. And one of the reasons is if they take a vote and they move to pursue the impeachment, then the Republicans can also call in people to testify, such as the Bidens and people that have been involved in the Ukrainian issues. And now, if they don't call a vote, it's not a formal process. They're just doing this. It's never been done before in private like this. It's truly rather kind of evil in its intent, because we're supposed to be a transparent government. And they're the ones that say we need transparency, and they refuse to give it. So it's really, it's going to fade away. It's going to fade away.
Because they're the majority of the House.
Of the House. Yeah. But still, the other two times we've had impeachments, it's all been in the open, where both parties were concerned about the person, like Nixon, and Clinton. Those were the two. Both parties were concerned about inappropriate activity, or like Clinton lying to America. He wasn't doing anything. But now it's just one angry group of people that haven't accepted that President Trump legitimately won the 2016 election, and he is our president. So they're doing everything in the world to try to destroy him and anybody associated with it, and they're failing. They're failing. His base in the independents, they're going to be way coming more toward a good economy, because it's the economy, stupid, that really generates. If you think you're going to vote for a socialist and you're going to lose your job, you're not going to vote for a socialist, because you're not going to be made up for it. The decrease in your living ability will not be made up with free items. It just doesn't. It can't work that way.
Yeah, let's focus on the impeachment.
I don't think they'll ever call a vote in the House. They're just trying to badmouth and spread negative things.
I know. That's why.
I don't think they'll ever do it.
That's why the term witch hunt is applied.
It is.
Right?
It is a witch hunt.
So now I'm talking about the fact that knowingly there needs to be a procedure started with a vote first. That how many would support the impeachment, and then they started the impeachment, and with the majority voted with the House, though, then it has to go to the Senate.
Right. That the Republicans control. It would never pass. You need 2/3.
The Senate would never pass. Number one.
It won't
Number
happen.
two, you need a super majority.
Yes, 66 votes.
66 votes.
Yes, sir. 2/3.
No, 60, yeah.
Maybe 67 or 7, yeah.
No, 67. Yeah. Because you can't call half person, right?
Right.
So 67%.
Yeah.
So
it won't happen.
Now, without the procedure, without considering the procedure, and yet there goes the impeachment. of course, the motive. People talk about the motive. Next thing.
Yeah, well, the motive is to
And
spread.
yesterday,
spread evil.
John Hollis and I.
Yes, sir.
John Hollis, the candidate of congressional district for a congressional district for 2028.
Okay.
Where exactly Adam Schiff holds the
Yeah,
position.
and
right?
unfortunately, I'm in Adam Schiff's district. I'm ashamed.
You what?
Pasadena. I'm in Adam Schiff's district.
Oh, comment. We'll give the comment. We'll comment later on.
Yeah, yeah.
So he says that with the impeachment itself, he and I discussed the fact that Nancy Pelosi made the announcement of the launching of the impeachment without seeing the script.
Absolutely.
Of the whisper.
Of the conversation. It's blind hatred. Blind hatred. They don't care what the conversation was. They don't care how properly normal the conversation was. They will just lead all of us to think it was something else. And that's what they're trying to do. And they do it, it's like way back. If you tell a lie enough times, all of a sudden people start believing it.
And at some point, he and I, we concluded that the motive was not based on evidence.
On any fact. No, not at all. Same with the Russia hoax.
Right.
It didn't happen.
And then the comment was that the whisper, he doubted it was not even in existence.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right because they don't want to identify who he is, okay, and because you should be able in America you should be able to face your accusers. That's part of our system. That's part of our truth. And they're hiding him, and we understand that he had ties to the Bidens before, and also was a major donor to Hillary, and was in the CIA. So it was, and also that Schiff met with this quote whistleblower. There's no whistle to blow because nothing happened. A month before he filed his thing, and that it was even probably Schiff and others there helped him write the complaint. So it's just a setup. They make up it's all made up.
In other words, the
up.
determination of impeachment comes first.
Right.
And as long as the determination is there, though, they go for it anyway.
Yeah.
They went for it anyway.
They're going for it anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
So they went for it. Okay. Now is it dying, subduing?
I believe it will, because I don't think there will be. It will never. I don't believe.
I haven't heard a word of impeachment about a week.
Yeah. Well, there's 31 Congress people Democrats that got elected where there were Republicans before, and if they vote openly that they support impeachment, we'll get 31 seats back because the people will vote for Republicans to get back in there. It's very unpopular because there's nothing to this except fraudulent accusations.
All right. Technically, the Senate has to vote. Yeah. And logically, by common sense, the thing comes out with a determination of overthrowing Donald Trump first.
Yeah.
So
impossible.
And by conclusion, we would rather choose to play with the common sense that it will never happen.
He will be on the ballot for the election next year, President Trump.
Okay.
And we'll see.
All right. Okay, my friend, let's take a moment out. We come back to continue for the last segment to see how it looks when everything puts together. Stay with us.
Everything expected to straight. It's like seeing John Wayne.
My
name
is
Paul James. I host English news here in
and a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show, a wonderful show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of history. and hand-forged by 10 generations of the most wonderful craftsmen on earth. Together, they stand for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of royal glory. With the royal glory, we are back on the show with my dear friend Ken Hemming on our bi-weekly update.
Yes, sir.
Now, we're talking about the last night debate of the fourth round on the Democratic side, and we found out that one issue outstanding was that everything was supposed to go on free. And secondly, we found out that all the things going on free were having no monetary support.
Correct. That's right.
And speaking of monetary support, the only thing we understand is not something coming from Mars.
Right.
It's not something growing on trees.
That's right, Jack.
And they never grow on trees. And is never something growing underneath the earth like potatoes.
No natural resources of
No
money.
natural resources, but to suck the blood of taxpayers.
Right, of our individual citizens.
Individual citizens. And by checking our health, though, doctor says, no. You can never be taking blood away anymore because you're already down to the bone.
Yeah.
So this is such a picture that we, the people, are in, facing that many promises.
Correct.
And by common sense, the answer is that, is it or is it not going to happen?
Well, the election will happen.
No, there is no answer needed anyway.
Yeah.
Common sense says it already. Like I said.
They will never get, those programs will not be
Follow the instruction to the
put into law.
By doctors say, I'm cutting down off the bone already with this, and there's no blood could suck it out.
Yeah.
Could be sucked out. With that, there's no tax going to be collected, and with that, there's no money to support any promise of going free.
Exactly true.
And why they do it? Because they do it for
It's just pure hatred.
like a popcorn to kids.
It's denial of the reality that he was
right,
elected
anyway.
to lead our country.
We concluded to forget it. No big deal. Anyway, nothing will happen.
And like the stock market again today, we're back over 27,000, and it was 18,000 when Trump was elected. And I mean, so there's so much more
Which
wealth.
Which is good.
It's,
Okay,
it's
now,
fantastic
all right.
for the basic people that have 401k plans.
My dear friend,
That's right.
people need to learn, and people needs to be educated. And by the past 2 years now, by seeing lots of things around me, I believe I'm changing myself. I'm shifting myself. I'm right now easier to trust those solid base issues rather than anything the flying in there.
Yeah.
All right, good. Now, next thing I would like to point out, you mentioned Joe Biden, you mentioned about
Yes.
Hunter Biden,
Right.
you mentioned about Ukraine investigation, and you mentioned about the, of course, they are interrelated with the whisper, House whisper,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, now, what do you comment on the fact of the investigation of Hunter Biden?
Well, this is very interesting because, they're saying, that President Trump was trying to encourage the Ukrainians to help investigate the Bidens in terms of had they done anything, unethical or illegal. And Hunter Biden was hiding for a long time. He came out and went on ABC yesterday, and he admitted the following. They asked him a question, because he was put on the board of Burisma, which is a oil and gas company in the Ukraine, and he was getting like $60,000 a month, and he had no background in the industry at all. And actually, his only body of knowledge was he was thrown out of the Navy for drug abuse, use and abuse. So that's not too good. So he was over there. They put him on the board, and they asked him, "Now, do you think you would have been on the board if your name was not Biden?" And he says, "No, probably not. It probably got me on." Now, Donald Trump has sons. They're not on any boards around the world, when he's president or before. They had their own company. That's what they do. And then also, Hunter Biden went on Air Force Two, the vice president's plane, to China with Joe Biden when he was vice president. And a week and a half later, he came back because he was a partner in a small boutique investment firm. He had no qualifications as an investment advisor, but China sent $1.5 billion, $1 billion first, then $500 million a little bit later into that investment firm. Now, it just seems logical that the reason they throw money toward the Bidens was to have influence, because Joe Biden was a vice president, and you'll get beneficial treatment if their attention is purchased, okay? And that's what happened. And of course, now Joe Biden had said, I've never talked to my son about his involvement in that. And his son said, well, yeah, we did talk about it. So they're doing a lot of...
At the investigation on the board, though,
Yeah.
there's one conversation that you have to really be entertained.
Yes, sir.
When he was asked,
Right.
do you know or have the knowledge enough to be on the board of natural gas?
Yeah.
You know the answer? Do you recall the answer?
Well, let me hear your quote first.
I don't know any more than any of the other members do.
Right, now that's a silly, then the whole board, then the whole board is worthless.
My God. In other
No,
words,
that's hilarious.
In
Thank
other
you.
words, each of the board member
Yeah.
is a fake.
Yeah, right.
Right? The whole thing, the natural gas company, is a package for political money.
Right, and then one thing too is that Ukraine was very, very famous for its corruption, okay? Now they have a new president that actually was a comedian
So
in
not
Europe.
not more than any other members on the
yeah, no,
board.
that's an unbelievable statement, okay?
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable
honest,
naivety.
honest.
Yeah, right, it was honest. Yeah.
Frank.
Right. And a mistake, and he's getting
And
a lot of
mistakenly,
back,
of course,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
Of
not
course.
well, that shows his
It
intelligence.
indicates the whole body,
Yeah.
right, of that board.
Yeah, he demeaned them all.
Is
He
is a combination of all these the icon persons
Yeah.
set
Interesting.
there for political money.
Very interesting, really. No,
Very
that's-
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the son of our vice president, former president,
Yeah.
involved in such a deal, though, do you think that deserves some investigation?
Well, they're investigating it right now.
All right.
We are investigating.
No.
We're also investigating with China.
At the time when Donald Trump says, quote unquote,
Yeah.
all right, Donald Trump says, go ahead with the investigation.
We'll see.
Suppose if he did
Yeah.
say so.
Well, that's okay. The job of the president is to protect our country. And if there's corruption going on, a responsibility of the president is to pursue the facts. And if there was illegal corruption, then
I don't
people should
recall
be
anything.
tried.
I don't recall anything that Trump said, according to the script.
I read it all.
Yeah, according to the script, says you have to go ahead with the investigation, or I will
do something.
hold up the
Right.
money, do
Yeah.
something, whatever.
And that's called quid pro quo, and there was none. We also have Joe Biden on tape saying that he was in the Ukraine and that there was a prosecutor investigating Burisma and Hunter Biden. And Joe Biden threatened the Ukrainian president that if you don't fire and stop that investigation, you will not get $1 billion in aid from America. He says so, and he was bragging about it and smiling about it, and he says, guess what? He was fired within 6 hours because he was...
That was confirmed.
So it was a complete quid pro quo.
That's what confirmed.
And
once
Biden
again,
says, oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
again, common sense. Once again, by common sense.
Common sense.
Who did right? Who did wrong?
President Trump had a basic conversation. See, what happened when they started misrepresenting the conversation, they never thought President Trump would release the details of the conversation, because then other leaders of countries will be hesitate to talk freely with our president, afraid it'll be released. But he won't do it again.
Remember a few months ago, I told you, few months ago, right after the first debate,
Yes, sir.
I told you I had little confidence in Joe Biden. You
Yes.
recall that?
Yeah. Well, we see, number one.
Now the confidence
yeah.
is gone.
It is gone, and I do not believe he has the chance to get the nomination.
I'm very
even
sorry
though
for
he's
my.
the most moderate.
I'm
but
very
he's also,
sorry for myself. I'm
Yeah.
very sorry for myself. I believe in this thing, through this issue though, and a bad enough picture is drawn on him already.
See, he's been in the government for about 48 years. There's a lot of buried treasures that would not look good as we continue to discover them. He came from a small state, and he got elected, when he was 29 years old.
Would you vote for him? Suppose if he comes out with some kind of apology?
No, of course not. No,
You
I
will
don't
not.
like. No, he's been pulled radically left, and he has to support
I'm
socialist
very
policies.
sorry for him. I'm very sorry even for myself.
He should just
For
retire.
I was a little supportive.
Yeah.
Right after the first debate.
Okay. Well, he
Anyway.
should retire, go home, enjoy his golden years. He's 70, slurring words, and he's making statements that just aren't intelligent. So he should just fade into the mist and enjoy his
All right,
last
and
years.
let him take care of his own business. But anyway,
Right.
I have lost my little teeny tiny
Attraction.
Yeah.
confidence
in him.
I have none.
And my dear friend, a little over time, once again, we are happy about it. And with me is my Mr. Ken Hemming, my friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, commentator and book writer, and also he's a philosopher, most importantly. And thank you for watching, my dear friend, and we'll see you again in 2 more weeks.
Love you guys.